weeks leading up to the 1998 federal election, the future of the coalition government looked bleak and uncertain. But why? The short answer is John Howard.
Right, down.
The Prime Minister's popularity was embarrassingly low even for him, and whereas the public had previously been won over by his nervous tic, speech impediment and halting empty laugh, this time he would have to do something more than simply not be Paul Keating if he wanted victory. A crisis summit was called, and the finest minds of the Liberal and National parties met secretly to discuss the fate of the man Bill Clinton once called on the phone. He wasn't in. But our story concerns not the core members of Howard's elite brains trust, but those of influence on the rind.
Wrong card!
On the periphery of Liberal politics, you've got your Michael Krogers and your Ann Peacocks. And there are many of them. In fact, if all the Michael Krogers and Ann Peacocks around were laid end to end, they'd run for miles. As would I.
One of these rind inhabitants is Anthony Merriweather.
Well, of course, we had made a number of changes to John in the last 2 years he had been in office. We got the new spectacles, a hearing aid, trimmed back the big eyebrows and gave him some medication to stop that twitching. And that all helped us to a certain extent, but what we really needed was to be able to demonstrate to the public that he was in fact a human being. And that was very difficult. That's why we turned to the American model.
We have found over a number of administrations there are two ways of increasing public support for an unpopular political leader: the assassination attempt or the sex scandal. The goodwill and sympathy generated for Reagan after he was shot was unprecedented. And of course Clinton achieved record popularity after his peccadillo with Miss Lewinsky. These days I recommend a sex scandal. It is more enjoyable for the parties involved, and the risk of death is much smaller.
But who would have sex with John Howard? Psychologist Claire Marimbo.
I'd rather drink acid.
Howard himself balked at the idea of a sex scandal. He agreed only on the condition that it take place without his knowledge and active participation.
A man, not Nick mentioned, contacted me. He asked if I would sleep with the Prime Minister. I agreed. I was then asked if I was prepared to wear a thong, and I said I'd be happy to wear two. Anything to help the government.
The liaison took place as arranged during the third day of the 1998 Chobham Conference. But despite impeccably sourced leaks to the press, no one believed it.
When you have a Prime Minister like John Howard, there's no point trying to make him endearing by embroiling him in a sex scandal. It's too subtle, too new millennium. We need to be a little more obvious here, a little more early 80s. And it is a risk, but it's one I think we should all be willing to take.
ABC Television, hold the line please. ABC Television, hold the line please.